All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dow. And, I'm here. I'm still in South Carolina visiting the saints of the Most High, but, I'm here to try to bring some type of wisdom to the people, because sometimes, people can't see the forest for the trees, and in order to simulate mind and conscience, a leader needs to say something that's going to help the people to start thinking about things that normally that they just would not otherwise think about. We live in a system, a Babylonian system, that actually teaches us to stay in debt and to live in debt. As a matter of fact, it's a debt-based system. And if you don't believe me, just go back and just check out the history of this particular country right here called America. Because ever since that we've gotten off the silver and the gold standard, if you notice, the national deficit has never went down. It's only increased year after year after year after year. And the truth is, whether you understand this or not, they have no intentions whatsoever to stop what they're doing. Every paper currency, every fiat currency throughout the annals of time and throughout history has always failed, bar none. It's always failed, meaning it's went to zero. And what you're looking at is you're watching the historical repeat of other systems that has collapsed. You're watching it here in America today. So if you don't want to feel the pain like a lot of other people are feeling right now, and if you want to start hedging yourself and protecting yourself against this system, because whether you understand this, like this, know this or not, this system is not for your best interest. This system is built upon the rich and not the poor. I mean, after all, look what happened in 2008, 2009, when they start, doing all these bailouts, what they call quantitative easing. You and I, none of those benefits ever trickled down to us. It went to Wall Street, not to Main Street. And if you notice, the suicide rate, because people can't cope. I mean, you think about this for a second and follow me in thought. If we go back some years ago, I have an old mother at the community named Mother Stallings. She's 83, getting ready to be 84 years old. And Mother Stallings, she talked to me some time ago about the Great Depression. And she was a little child then. And of course, the Great Depression did not affect the poor people too much at all, because they were poor. You understand, they kept on doing life as usual. But the people who are middle class and the people who are rich, it affected them a lot. And especially those who don't know how to play the game the way that the system has trained others to play it. The rich make money off the middle class and the poor's back. Sure, they provide you jobs, but you don't understand what's taking place when they provide you jobs. So the rich suffered a lot during the Great Depression, or the middle class, they were the one who got hit the worst. We're in a system where it's not for us to operate and to function in. They make all the rules, they have all the cards, they have all the laws, and it's only for them. For instance, I remember some time ago, probably about 15 years ago, I said that Walmart was going to be the distribution center for the New World Order. And of course, when I'm talking like this, everybody thinks that you're crazy. Usually a man that thinks a little bit and tries to function and operate independent of the system, when people have been trained, coerced, and manipulated, and they have actually been schooled, i.e. government training camps, school systems, when they have been trained in these camps right here, our thought process, the way we think, the system has taught us how to do it. And anytime you exercise independent thinking, you get the people who have been trained in the system calling you mad, fanatic, then they start calling you cold, and many other names that go along with it. Why do they function like that? Because everything that they have had programmed into their minds came after the very system that has taught them how to live in it. So I started talking about this, and I paid attention when they started doing all this outsourcing, GAFTA, CAFTA, NAFTA, and all this other so-called quote-unquote free trade. I knew that they was going to send jobs overseas, send corporations overseas. But you look and see what's done happened since then. Even though I was saying these things, I took it upon my own self to start hedging myself personally, and then try to position myself as much as I can to help people. I mean, after all, because I'm a pastor. And I do have a sincere care for the flock. Now, most people say that they do, but when you watch their actions, their care is mostly for themselves and not for the flock of the Most High. But so I moved out. I bought some land, a large sum of land, paid for. I started building homes on it. I started making, my own way so that I would not be a part of this debt-based system, because surely oppression will make a wise man mad, and we're watching people literally go mad right before our very eyes. So they moved in Walmart into all these little small counties, these little small country towns and stuff. And what's the first thing that it did? It attacked the middle class of that particular sector, and it moved out all the mom and pop businesses. And how can you compete when you got this big giant corporation right here that can actually buy products for pennies on the dollars, whereas it cost us, if we was to try to start a business, it costs us an extraordinary amount of money to get the goods and services shipped to you. Then you have to actually pass the cost on to the consumer, and the consumer, when they go and see a box of cereal over at Walmart for $1.50, $2 at that time, and they see it on your shelf for $4, they're not going to continue to keep buying from you, because no matter what, they're still going to try to do everything they can to save $1, even while they waste money left and right. And the mindset is not on whether or not, if the product is made the same and is coming from the same source or not. It's based on where's the cheapest price that I can get this product at. And so now we've watched Walmart come in along with other major corporations, because remember, corporations are controlled by government, and government, i.e., controls corporations. And when you have corporations or government in the back pocket of corporations, then they control the laws. They lobby to control all the 535, your Senate, your House, the Congress, the President. All of them are controlled. All of them manipulated. And they get up on these news sources and they grandstand in front of the camera, because these people are schooled in the art of deception. Everything is about strategy. That's what they're thinking. It's all about strategy. It has nothing to do with telling you the truth of what's getting ready to take place, what's happening, because it's not in their best interest. And what they'll do is let this thing run all the way up until you have no more answers. And then, of course, what happens? People start to lose it. They start killing themselves when they see no way out. People today in our society, it makes no difference if you are rich or poor. They're highly leveraged, i.e. mean that they're in debt up to their eyeballs and can't see their way out. And in that, they're losing hope. And you think the system cares about it? I often said, and I've been saying to the people down here, that you can tell the character of a country by how it treats its poor. And if you watch and see what happens whenever, the older people, the elderly, whenever their insurance, quote unquote, runs out, what does the system do? They take them and throw them to a hospital, throw them out on the streets and stuff. And hey, they have not their best interest in mind. So Pastor Dow, myself, I try my best to teach you how to function in this environment that's coming up. And number one, you've got to learn how to get control of spirituality, because most people are just simply not spiritual whatsoever at all. They're not thinking about it. They're looking for the preservation of this flesh. And even at that, when you even try to instruct them and tell them that, there's such a resistance because of all the advertisement that has been done to our minds, and all of the training that has been done to our minds, and all the manipulation and the coercion that has been done to our minds in this system right here, that when somebody comes to speaking you common sense and sound doctrine, the first thing you do is you make them a fanatic. You make them kooks. You make them crackpots. We don't use the process of thinking independently to see why certain people do certain things, independent of the system that has trained every single one of us. We never ever look at that. What we do is we function the way that they tell us to, and we automatically have a negative comment. We make negative gestures, and we have no solutions for the present situation that we're living in right now. So there's no spirituality, and when there's none of that, there's really truly not too much hope that's going on. You need to learn how to get control of money. You cannot continue to play the game that the system has made only for themselves to prosper in, and for you to continually to run a deficit year after year after year after year, and expect to come out on top or to gain an advantage. You can't. You're going to have to learn how to live simple. You're going to have to change your mind. And that is a steep, hard learning curve. Because when you get so used to credit, conveniences, we live in America. We're a microwave generation. We want it yesterday. If we can't put it in the microwave and get it within a few seconds, we're not satisfied. We've lost what it means to be content. We've lost sound value. We lost sound doctrine. We've lost things of old, principles of old that would teach us how to actually live and have a sound mind and have peace. And so we're losing our minds. So you're going to have to learn how to preserve yourself. And whether we like it or not, money does answer all things. We may not have an abundant supply of it, but if you stop functioning after the way that they teach you, you would understand. Brother Austin was just showing me earlier today a video that he shot. He parked in the parking lot and he said, look at this, this is unbelievable. He was showing a vehicle driving up to, listen to this, watch this. Have you paid attention how these gold and silver places are popping up all over the place? It was gold. Now it says gold and silver. It was only gold. Now it says gold and silver. And he recorded a video. And they have a drive-through to where people can turn in their gold and silver for cash, paper, which they're going to go out and blow it on something frivolous. They're not going to invest in land. They're not going to invest in themselves. They're not going to invest in real, true, sound money. This is going to go and blow it. And so, if we continue in this chaotic ignorance, we keep continuing functioning like this, we're not going to get up. Most people are in deep doo-doo and cannot see them ways out, cannot see their way out, and because nobody's telling them. You go to church, they give you the 8 steps to a better you. They tell you about how you can prosper and do all this, and ain't nobody prospering but those preachers who have the Lear jets, who have the $2 or $3, $4, $5 million homes, the finest suits, an income that is unbelievable, and you, the people, are still going after this false hope because of this false prosperity doctrine. They're prospering, they're in health, you're sick, and you're becoming even more poor. How can you stimulate mind and conscience? How can you teach the people? Well, when you find out, let me know. But I tell people over and over again, if you go out there and you play their game, you're going to lose. So if you go out there and you invest in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, CDs, anything that has to do with paper whatsoever at all, you're going to lose. Because everything in this system is based on the promise and based on the illusion that these corporations are going to prosper, and so you invest in their corporations. You put more money into their corporation. That's how stocks either go up or go down. But if you had gold and silver in your hand, which the media, the mainstream news media, and all these other so-called quote-unquote financial gurus out there, they don't teach you about sound money. They're not about to tell you to invest in gold and silver. Every single time you will see them attack it left and right. But when you watch and see, look what has done happened in the last 10 years. Let's just follow a 10-year track record and look and see what gold has done. Look and see what silver done. 10 years ago, gold was about $300 an ounce. Now it's at $1,700 an ounce. 10 years ago, silver was at $4 an ounce. Now it's hovering around $32 an ounce. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to continue to keep on listening to what these people have to say? You're going to continue to be manipulated? If you don't understand this, you don't have no future for yourself. You're not going to prepare a future for your descendants. Meaning, i.e., the people who you love the most. People are scared. They get up every single morning scared. So stop opting into the system. Get your safe, get your gun, control your own wealth for yourself. And that's all there's to it. If it ain't in your hands, if it ain't in your possession, you don't own it, you don't control it. The banks belong to the government. And I ask you, how much can you trust the government? The government can't produce anything. They can only take. They cannot produce nothing. Everything that they get off the backs of the people in this country. That's all there's to it. So you have to stop playing the game. You must stop playing the game. People are full of fear right now. When we wake up in the morning, the first thing that is on a lot of people's mind is, am I going to be able to meet this mortgage payment for this month? Am I going to be able to pay this rent for this month? And there's no way for people to live a happy and fulfilling life, to wake up with anxiety and go to bed with anxiety, worry left and right, and then we have to take all of these drugs in order to cope with the situation. Projected fears in front of us, projected fears behind of us. We're afraid to even raise our children in society because we don't know what their future is going to look like. And the system is jacked up. You have to understand, you're dealing with a system that they play, to them this is a game. And they've done this many times over. And you're looking at the children who their fathers taught them how to function in this system. And so you've got to opt out. You're not going to get no Jubilee, no year Jubilee here in America. I have a solution how we can actually make all this nightmare go away, believe it or not. But I promise you that the way that these people are wired, they are not about to let this happen. They are not about to let it happen. You know how we can make all this go away and we can have a prosperous America, a prosperous country where everybody can live in total prosperity and in total health and have a peace of mind, where we can stop all this madness of crime and all these people having injustices perpetuating against them, how we can actually clean the White House, the outhouse, like I like to call it, and all the so-called judicial system. You know how we can do this? It's simple. Forgive the debt of every single person. Start all over again. It's not going to happen though, because this system is not for you and I. It's for them. It's not for you and I. So my advice is stop playing the game. Stop. Turn off that TV. Stop being advertised half to death. Be careful what you allow in front of your eyes. Be careful what you allow into your ears. If your preacher, your teacher, your financial advisor, anybody who you trust in, a trusted source, they're not giving you solutions how to get free of this particular situation, how to start making steps and taking steps in order to operate independently while you can at the same time function and start seeing your way out of this pit that we're all in, then you need to run from it. You need to get away from it because it's not in your best interest. You know, what's really truly looking good today? What's really truly looking good today is the ideal of buying 1 acre of land out in the country, a simple trailer on it, and you have no mortgage, you have no rent to pay, no debt. You people come out of materialism. Materialism is making you mad. You do not have to go and trample each other and tear up each other over the latest iPod. You do not have to run out here and be forced into a system that is debt-based, is driven only for money only. You don't have to go out and play this game. Learn how to be content. Learn how to be happy. As long as you have this uncontrollable lust, you can forget about getting free. That's why they advertise you half to death on TV. They're hoping that you will bite off on these advertisements. You ever notice when you go to the store, something you never even thought about? When you get in that store, all of a sudden a thought enters into your mind based on what they've advertised for you. And it makes no difference where you go. They use advertisement. So get out of paper, learn how to hedge and protect yourself, buy gold and silver, because it's never been to zero and it never will. They are tangible assets. They really truly are. Learn how to stop playing the game. Listen to people who have your best interest in mind and learn how to discern. And one of the greatest things it's going to take is you unlearning everything that you ever learned so that you can learn how to function in this truth. I tell you what, if you continue to keep doing the same things you've always done and expect change, that's the purest definition of insanity. You're not going to change. You're not going to change whatsoever at all. I don't know. I don't have any answers. For all you people out there that have student loans way up above your income bracket, because the system is not going to forgive you. There's no Jubilee for you Americans. You're seeing your country for what it really truly is, a bunch of warmongers. And we're following the same example as of ancient Rome. You need to be a student of the history so that you don't repeat the same mistakes of the past. Well, I hope that I said something to each and every last one of you. I hope, brothers and sisters, that I've been able to stimulate mind and conscience. You've heard the truth. You heard the truth straight way. If you have love for someone, pass this video on to them. The King is coming. I hope that y'all have a blessed day.